Yes guys, this is Nearly Last and welcome. In this video what we're going to do is carry on my series of breaking down the maps on Black Ops 3, concentrating on the highly populated areas and how best we can control them. As you can see guys, this time we are concentrating on the map Stronghold, and first of all we're going to concentrate on this particular building because this is probably the most highly populated part of the whole map. So let's jump straight into here. Now first of all we got this part with the dining room table. Now if you know people are being spawned up in this main spawn area here and they're going to be coming rushing through into this particular part, make sure that you be controlling like in this particular corner here, maybe this one as well, taking out one, maybe a couple of enemies as they're bursting through here, but be mindful not to just sit here afterwards, wait for more people to spawn, because what you're going to find is that people are rushing, they're going to get a shot on you, you're going to probably be destined to die. So maybe just pick a couple of people on, make you move around, and just you can drop then back into this particular area if you so wish. And this particular area is another little bit, for me personally, this is probably the best corner that you can be in. You need to drop into here just to control this part, waiting for people now to be rushing through here because you've just been in there. They'll come through, and if they come rushing through here, you're able to take them out. People jump up through the window, you can take them out. If they come through here, you're able to take them out as well. Be a bit mindful if you get into the habit of popping up here. Now once you control this particular part and this particular part here, just check for these little areas and then move on. Don't be one of these people who just stands here, because what you're going to find is people are going to come through the window, flanking up behind you, and you're destined to die in the long run. If you're attacking from this particular area, if you're being spawned up here and you're coming from this way, now another little point is if they're up here, what you find is that sometimes they can drop down into this little area. So if you find that they're being spawned there but they're not coming through, best chances are they're going to be coming through there or maybe down this particular way as well. But that way there, you've got a nice little spot here to be able to take out people coming from this kind of direction. But like I say, once again, maybe pick off maybe one, maybe two people, make you move back in here. Now once you're in this particular room in here, now either if you've got people charging through here, you can wait in this corner and they might run straight past you here. If people are wall running, you're going to see them run straight past there and you're able to take them out, which is quite easy enough. Now, if people are being spawned up over this side, now, unless you're feeling pretty confident and you know exactly how many people are coming, what you've got to be watchful of is this particular area here, down through here, and all these rocks, including this main part here, which people love to be looking out of. Now, if you're going to come out into this particular area, make sure you got the right type of weapon for it straight away. And also, guys, make sure that you're mindful about what enemies are going to be coming. Now, if you're going to get out in here, you don't really see anyone, don't just stand in here, because you are a sitting target quite easily. If there's a UAV or something like that up in the air, you know there's 2 or 3 people coming, drop into this corner here, let them charge through. Now, if they come jumping up here, bang, you can take them out. If they tend to go running straight up underneath, you know exactly where they're going. So what you can find is maybe you take one person out. If someone else jumps up to try and challenge you, straight to the side, bang, take that person out then. What you're going to find then is that the people that have gone up underneath are going to try and come up the stairs and they're going to try and flank you from this particular side. Now, if you know and you have a little look through here that you could drop down into this particular area instead of charging back through there, you come back through here, be mindful of this particular door, and then you can come straight up across here. Up here, be a bit mindful of people spawning up over this side. But if people have charged up these stairs, what they're going to do is they're going to come rushing through here and try and challenge you. But what you've done now is you've flanked them, you've come across here, you take one, you can try and take the enemies out there. And it's a lot easier. Don't get into the mindset of jumping straight through here, because if you come back in here, everyone's going to be charging through these kind of directions because they've been hearing all the gunfire, they know exactly where you are, and you're just going to be a bit of a sitting duck with the amount of people that are going to be charging through. So best mind is just to drop down there and flank. What you can also do if you're in this particular area as well, shoot people there. If you're going to drop down, you're going to be a bit more mindful of these particular areas. If they're being spawned up over here, you can just check that little corner there, just drop straight down, bop, sit straight into this corner. Now listen to exactly where they're going to be coming from. If they're charging up through the top up to there, you can go up and flank round. If you see that on maybe on a UAV or maybe by someone's gunfire that they come out here, you can take a couple of shots from this particular area. You can even drop down into here and wait for them to come across the top as well. So use these kind of doorways just for flanking. Now, because you don't have to actually go out into the open, you can drop down quickly, you can come back up here, and then once again you're flanking up and around. Also is this little point here, what you're going to find is people being spawned up over here. If you wall run in, you can drop into here, and that way you can be picking out people from here. What I would suggest you doing, guys, is sitting about here, though, if you're going to wait for people to come through the door. If you just come here, they're going to be spawning. If they rush through, you can take them out there. If you sit here, if people try to take this direct route, you're pretty much just sitting duck from this long line of sight. So make sure you're trying to use this kind of area as you cover, guys. Also is another little spot if you get caught out in this particular point is down in here. Now, if you know everyone's being spawned up here, now what they tend to do is they rush straight up here, or they're going to go through up into the other area. Now, what you want to do is pop up here slowly, come up here. Now, if everyone's been spawned and they've rushed past you and they obviously haven't seen you, what you can do is drop into this particular area, maybe take out 1 or 2 enemies there. If you feel comfortable that there's no one else being spawned there, you can then drop down and go through up into here. But for me, guys, I just hang around in here. You can just drop into all these corners and just basically just circle round. If you feel super comfortable when you're shooting up and down here, you can even drop round, come up here, boost up, and then up into this little point here, waiting for everyone to come charging through, and just keep circling round. That's only, guys, though, I would suggest, though, if they're being spawned up into this particular area. If they're coming from down this kind of area, if you stood here, like I say, you're pretty much just sitting duck once again. But if you use all these little angles, all these little corners, keep dropping around and circling around up and behind everyone, you're going to find you can dominate the enemy in this house quite easily. Next up, guys, we got this bit. Now, this is one of the places that you will first spawn when you actually join onto the map Stronghold, as we already know. Now, this is the quietest area, particularly here. You can be coming up through this particular area, but this is the most populated little part from around here. Now, what you're going to find is you're going to get spawned. Now, this is the part that I was saying being mindful, because that window there, what you're going to find is people tend to look straight out there and they can have a little pop. Now, if you come around here, maybe check out these particular corners and come from there, but this is the most spot that's checked straight away. If people are coming up from this particular area, this is the first place that they can actually look. So if you want to be a bit more different, you can drop down through this particular area, come back through here. Now what you're going to find is, as long as you've got a nice assault rifle, something like that, you can pop up here, check out this particular window, come back here, and you can take out from there as well, and just use these particular rocks as cover straight away. And the good thing about this being here as well, you shouldn't have to worry too much about people flanking up over there. What you can then do is drop down into this particular area as well, and then you can just maneuver through. Make sure that you're being a bit mindful of these kind of spots here, but then you can just use these kind of rocks as cover as you're making way through. But these are the kind of best little places these are the last ones, sorry, that people are really going to be checking out on. The one when you're up on top is going to be the first place that they'll look. You can even come up and through here, use this rock, use this as a bit of cover as well, and then what you're going to find is if no one takes a shot, people tend to come up flanking through there. You'll hear them just straight away jump straight up there, and you can just pop out and jump straight back up and take them out. So that is probably the kind of better ways, instead of being the most obvious of going straight up the stairs and straight over the top. Next up is this particular spot here. Now, this is the kind of area that you at least want to stay in. You know what I mean? There's so many places that people can spawn. There's so many places people can be jumping in. So if you know that people are popping up on the UAV, maybe someone's taking a shot and they've all been spawned there, going to be flanking down here, you can drop out here, maybe take 1 or 2 enemies out from this kind of area. And obviously, like this part here, what you're going to find is that people are constantly looking out from over there and over there. You can have grenades flying in and everything else like this. So for me in particular, if you want to take a quick look as you go along, that's it. I would not stay there, because what you're going to find is once all the firefights starts happening, a few gun battles going on, people are then going to be spawned up there. They'll all come rushing up here and it's just going to take you out. So from this kind of area, what you want to be doing is just making sure that you're taking 1 or 2 enemies out from here, maybe checking out your little corridors as you're coming through. Be mindful that people aren't spawning there. If you know that people are up in the house and they're dropping down and you've been firing your gun, let them actually come to you. What you can do then is just try and use this particular angle. People are charged through there. You can take out your particular enemies and then start making you move on. But like I say, guys, just try and use all these little different bits here as cover as you move along. You can even take out people from long lines of sights there before you start dropping in up into this kind of little area, using this kind of rock, and then make your way out of there. Last place on this map that you really want to be is in here. Last little place is in this particular area here. Now, what I find is a lot of people tend to wait for people to be spawned up over here, and they'll play a bit more conservative, maybe take a couple of people's shots there, and then they'll try and sit back and just try and hold this area down. The trouble with being in this kind of area here is you're going to be just acceptable for people just chucking in flashbang, grenades, everything else like that. Even if you've got flat jacket on, there's only so much damage you can particularly take. And the trouble is, people are being spawned up all in this particular area. You're going to have numerous amount of enemies trying to charge you down. You're going to lose that gun battle at some stage. So what I tend to do for me, guys, is if you're coming up here and people don't know you're actually there, maybe take out an enemy as he's trying to cross up and down through there, or maybe he's coming up and through that way. As soon as you do that, drop into this little corner here, listen out to exactly where they're spawning. What you're going to find is a lot of people charge straight through there, or they just carry on rushing around. What you do then is if someone tries to come through, you can take them out from there, or just be a bit mindful that people are coming in from this particular direction. Maybe then just drop down into this kind of area. What you're going to find then is you've got nice lines of sight then for covering all this particular area here and then there. You can even drop out into this area just so that they can check there, and you should be able to hear enemies coming up from behind you. Don't get in the habit of just sitting in that particular spot, because at some stage you're just destined to die. You can then actually just use all these cars for cover, dropping down all the way around here, and then maybe make your way back into the house. But tend to try and keep out of that area only when you're flanking. If you do fire a gun and you're not running a suppressor or anything else like that, you want to be making sure that either you're comfortable about coming out here and getting in a nice gun battle, but if everybody's spawning here, there's nothing wrong with dropping down all the way back round and then coming back up from a different direction. Because if everyone's being spawned here, they know that you're coming from here. What you're going to do is you're going to come out here, you're going to have 2 or 3 enemies firing at you, and it's going to be a bit of a loss as you go along. But anyway, guys, this is just my little rundown on the map Stronghold of all the populated areas. I hope you found all these tips useful. Leave anything in the comment section below. It'd be very interesting to hear from you guys. But coming up on the screen now is my subscribe button, and guys, if you drop a like on this video and support my channel, it'd be even better. This is Nitty Lance, and I'll catch you later.